Welcome to the Know It's Some podcast, bringing you the widest variety of conversational interviews for a well-rounded perspective on life. Because while it's true, nobody likes a know-it-all, it's also good to know it's some. Here's your host, Steve Platt.
That's right, folks. Welcome to the Know It's Some podcast. I'm your host, Steve Platt. And before we get into introducing this week's guest, I have an announcement to make. This is exciting news. I've been wanting to share this with you guys for some time, and now it's official. I can say that the Know It's Some podcast is an affiliate of the Big Three Roll-Up Podcast Network. If you're not familiar with the Big Three Roll-Up yet, you need to be, because they have podcasts spanning from collegiate athletics to society and culture, entertainment. You name it, they have it, or they're about to. They have a plan for growth. These are folks that have the same ambition and vision that I do. We have the same values, and I am extremely excited to join their team. The folks that run the Big Three Roll-Up, and I've used the word before, but I'm going to say it again, they're visionaries, and I'm really, really excited to be a part of what they're building and also to partner with them and continuing to bring you great content every Tuesday. That said, this week's guest is no different. He is an extremely talented rapper, recording artist, performer. He's one of one, and he and I go way back. He's out of South Florida. His name's King Tetrus. His debut album, Out of Tokens, is available wherever you get your music. If it's on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, doesn't matter. You can find Out of Tokens by King Tetrus. That's Tetrus. He explains his name, explains a lot of how he got into rapping, and we talk a little bit about his Rookie of the Year campaign. It was a really fun interview. I'm really excited to share this one with you. And without further ado, episode 13, King Tetrus.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing?
Peace and blessings, King. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. So we got King Tetrus here on the Know It Some podcast.
Yes, sir.
Welcome.
Yes,
So,
sir.
You got a lot going on. I can see on social media you're hustling quite a bit right now.
Yeah.
But I want to take it back for a moment before we get into what you got going on now. How long have you been involved in creating music? When did this become a passion for you? Is this something that started from when you were young?
Yeah. So first off, before we dive in there, thank you so much for having me. I know we're gonna pretend like we're not homies from way back when we both had hairlines and stuff. We're gonna pretend like that, but
I did have hair. That's right.
Yeah.
I remember now.
It's been a while, but we've been knowing each other since hairlines and no facial hair and all that good stuff. So man, I appreciate you having me.
We were young bucks at the time.
This is true. we was young and thriving, for a while, and now we're just thriving. So
I don't get carded anymore. I'll tell you that.
No, I got carded 2 weeks ago, and it was the best thing ever.
You still got a baby face. I ain't got that going on anymore.
That's funny. That's funny. But no, man. Music has been going kind of crazy, and the stories it's not super long, but I'll break it down for you in the best way that's digestible. Is that fair?
Okay. Yeah. That's
fair. So growing up, I know off the record we kind of talked about this a little bit, but growing up, there was not very many. I didn't have very many black teachers. I didn't have very many black classmates. And growing up, almost every classroom, because I grew up on South Beach, was 99% Hispanic, right?
Yeah.
And so you go to class and you have Flag Week or something like that, where everybody's preserving their culture, where they'll have potlucks and everybody brings something from their country or whatever. And on the good thing is that you get to expand what you don't see from home, right? But then the bad part is that if you don't have something to participate in, you almost lose a sense of self, right?
Yeah.
Because it's well, my flag, I'm from Alabama, so where, I'm not even like Haitian. I'm not like Jamaican or Bahamian
Yeah.
or like anything. Like I'm from Alabama. Like my parents are from deep south, and
Hmm.
so
But that
growing
means that you
up,
appreciate good things in life, though,
yeah.
like good cooking, some grits, stuff like
Oh,
that.
absolutely. Hey. I could eat. I tell people this all the time. I can make my grits are like incredible. I make incredible
Right.
grits. Well, I'll give you a little 10 cents to it later. But nah, because of the lack of like diversity,
Hmm.
I kind of looked at hip hop as like my way to like participate in Black culture because it was like I only my mom's friends, but like
Hmm.
we didn't really have like teachers. There wasn't like coaches. I didn't really play the most like quote unquote black friendly sports. So
Yeah,
like it
you were
was
like
like
disconnected, I
yeah, so
guess.
super disconnected. So growing up, hip hop was my thing, and then I started rhyming like I don't know 8th grade, 9th grade, and
Hmm.
I was a part of a group called FWA, and
Okay.
then I transferred schools, as you know, and
But
music did.
let me stop you
Go
right
ahead.
there. What were some of your influences at that time when you were first starting to get into it?
The same influences I have now. So like Nas, Outkast, Jay Z, Biggie,
Okay.
um, Mob Deep. Let's see. Yeah, I was pretty much that was like who I was like in love with at that
Hmm.
age. Um, the harder, the
Gotcha.
better. And then like I got to high school and I loved like trunk rattling music where it was like, you know, the Pitbulls, the Jeezys, the Rick Ross, anything
Hmm.
that made my car sound like it was having an epileptic seizure. Like that's what I wanted to be about. Like,
Okay.
boom, boom, boom. Like people may listen to this and not be from South Florida, but like that's like a thing. Like
Yeah, for sure.
that's like a rite of passage. That's how you know that you're doing something.
Right.
Um, so yeah, and then I started rhyming, and then fast forward college, I did a bunch of shows in school. Life happens, turn into Mr. Owens and do the whole corporate thing, and
Hmm.
quarantine happens, and I was so unhappy with myself. Like I just was so unhappy. Like I just knew that this what like my life. That's not what I really wanted to do, and I quit my job. I still have a job
Hmm.
now, though. Like I love my
Hmm.
job now, but my last job it wasn't really like conducive to who I wanted to be. Um, got into the music, sat in my house. You know, quarantine happens, and I decided to make an album. And you
You
know,
get on that
six.
versus stuff during
Yeah,
the pandemic?
yeah, man. Of course. I mean that 100% like turned me into like music mode. And six
Hmm.
months later, we got an album, 300 plus streams, over 600 sold. Like it's a lot. It's a lot. It's just
That's
kind of
awesome, man.
happened. So yeah.
That's awesome. So, for folks that might not be familiar with your music, what's the name of the album?
The name of the album. Can I put my rapper voice on now? Is it? Is it?
Yeah,
Can I put?
go
Okay.
ahead.
Check. Hey, yo, peace, blessings, all of the above. Yo, my name of the album is called King Tetrus Out of Tokens, aka No More Games. It's available everywhere, just like air. If you got SoundCloud, Instagram, Spotify, Apple Music, you can ask your Alexa to play it. It's everywhere.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So, you said the pandemic kind of turned you back towards music, back towards what you knew.
Yeah.
When you first started putting this album together, who did you reach out to? Who did you decide to maybe either collaborate with or get advice from? Where did you plug in?
So two things on that. So like everyone thinks whatever their ideas are, even if it's not music, everyone who if you just sit in your room long enough and just put ideas together, whatever you're thinking is the best thing that's in the world. Like this
Hmm.
is the greatest thing I've ever put together, right? Well, not so much. Not so much when you're like
Right.
you go pitch somebody else like, hey, I have this startup idea, and essentially that's what an album is. It's like, hey, I have this idea, and let's go ahead and expand on it. And I had a homie, his name's Triple Z, um,
Hmm.
and he basically recorded me, taught me how to record. Because I always rhymed, but I never really put a lot of stuff on record. So like he taught me how to
Hmm.
record, taught me all the little ins and outs. And then I went over to the homie Miami Beat Wave. He actually is like right by Bird, or off of Bird, like by like Lincoln's Beard.
Okay.
And he has like, I don't know, 30 or 40 Grammys like for being a sound engineer. So he's like incredible. And he like held my hand through the whole thing. It was like, hey, this is how you do it. And then we came together and put the album together. I only really only took maybe like 5 hours of recording. So like,
nice. Wow.
It's people think it's like a really long thing, and it's not.
I mean, it
like,
can be, but you know, it doesn't have to be.
No,
if you know,
like,
you know, if you're with the right people.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Jay-Z's Magna Carta Holy Grail,
Mm-hmm.
he did in a weekend. The not Church in a While, the Watch the Throne with him and Kanye happened over 4 days. So like,
they're doing a second one now.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait for that. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. So I was listening to a couple friends of mine on a different podcast talk about this, and I kind of agree with them where they basically said, you know, Kanye still has his creative juices flowing, whereas Jay-Z, you know, while he's still a legend, he's kind of turned more business mogul. You know what I mean? He's got other stuff going on, and I don't know how tapped into, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if he's really like feeling it and gonna be on the top of his game when it comes to creativity for this. So we're gonna have to wait and see on that. That and again, that's one man's you know, opinion. He was one of my favorite rappers growing up. But you know, he's built an empire. Like Jay-Z's built an empire. And I don't know, you know what I mean? I don't know if he's maybe gotten a little bit removed from where the rubber meets the road. I hope he shuts me up, you know what I mean? And I hope that it's really good content, but you know, we're gonna have to see. Whereas Kanye, you know, for all of his flaws in terms of you know, the trouble he might get into in the news and stuff, like he's still, you know what I mean, he still has it. So I don't know.
I feel like Jay-Z and Kanye's content are so different. So like Jay-Z's about like empowerment and kind of that type of thing, where Kanye's really kind of putting himself in a lane of almost like gospel. So like, I'm not really sure how they're gonna gel enough to make an album, but like, I'm here for it though.
Yeah, I'm here for it too. You know, they are little apples and oranges, but they'll figure it out. They're not gonna. One thing I know about each of them is they're geniuses, and they're not gonna put out anything. You know what I mean? That like they're not gonna put out garbage. They're not gonna put out anything that they wouldn't stand behind. So I don't know. I have a feeling that it'll be pretty awesome. Let me ask you. So, you know, coming up in Miami, you said you were around a lot of Hispanics growing up. Have you ever toyed with the idea of like having that influence? You know, a track or two, either some Latin beats or some Spanish or anything like that. Have you ever toyed with letting that part of your upbringing like affect your music, or do you want to kind of keep that separate?
So fun fact, I actually did. My friends were talking about it, and because like, to be fair, like, yes, I'm black, but like I can dance salsa, bachata, merengue. My Spanish is pretty good. So like, they were like, you should just kind of do it, because a lot of the homies that growing up were Cuban, Puerto Rican, Dominican, Colombian, but a lot of Dominican, like, well, some almost, I'd say like 2 of my best friends are Dominican. One's Haitian, one's Colombian, and like one of the one's Puerto Rican. So the vibes are there. So I like did not know that this was a Bad Bunny song, right? The little Booker T he did. Don't. I didn't know that was a Booker. I didn't know that was Bad Bunny. I just heard the beat, and I was like, "Yo, that's kind of fire." So like, I did a little Spanish. I spoke a little Spanish on that, and I rapped a little bit. That's like my most played song on Apple Music. Not Apple Music. I'm sorry, SoundCloud. It's like, I don't know, 30,000, 40,000, something like that spins. It's insane. Like, I was like,
what's the name of that one?
It's Booker T, Bad Bunny, and King Tetrus. But it's on my SoundCloud. But it's just hilarious that's the one that everyone like. I'm like, it's just because it's Bad Bunny. Like, I don't know if it's like that. But I tried. I'm gonna start like this album I'm gonna do next. I'm gonna try to like infuse a lot more Miami because like yes, Miami is people come here and think South Beach, but like I didn't know people. I'm from Miami Beach and I didn't hang out on South Beach. And like
Mm-hmm.
most of the people I know, it's like 8th Street, Little Havana, like South Miami, up and even closer to like Aventura, Ives
Mm-hmm.
Dairy, that type of thing. And I'm just like, there's so much more in the city that has to offer culturally that I think it'd be dope if it's just not like either someone like in a Guayabera in like Little
Yeah.
Havana with like a hat and dancing salsa, or it's like a drug dealer in Little Haiti with like rims on his car. There's got to be like
Right.
a middle ground somewhere.
Right. There's somewhere in between.
Yeah.
You don't. Miami's got a history of producing major artists from
Correct.
Gloria Estefan to Pitbull to whoever, but like your feel when I listen to you, it's unique. Like it's something that I have not heard come from other cities or from Miami. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that that's because you have a variety of influences on your creative process and on your music.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely,
Um,
man. I appreciate you saying that. I've just been working on it, and I think like
mhm.
so much of music is about like being honest with yourself, right? And it's like you've just got to understand that your story is someone else's story too, and like you've just got to be comfortable with the idea and saying like, look, man, like we're gonna figure out a way to convey this message. And I think like sometimes when I hear music coming out of the city, it's like, are you a killer? Are you selling drugs? Like, are you, like
Do you mean what? Do you mean what's in your lyrics?
All right. And I have this one lyric. I say like, I want my music to mean something. It means I'm not average, but it means nothing. Mean, average means nothing, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I say it to say like, it's okay to be like I talked to this radio show executive, and she tells me your music's conscious. I said, what? What are you talking about, lady?
What's that supposed to mean?
Yeah, like what are you talking about? My music is conscious. You know what I mean? Like I don't think that to be true at all. Like I genuinely believe, right? It's just that I have something to say. Just because I'm not like I'm not like talking about strip clubs and ish like that. It doesn't mean that I'm not Miami. It just means I have something to say. So it's like I'm at the point now where I think musically people just don't know what to do with people that have a voice. And I'm not like the most pro black. I'm not like the most pro anything. I'm just like I'm pro good music, and I think like at some point that's got to win. Just like
yeah. Well, because you're not a mumble rapper, so you actually
No.
have substance to what
Yeah.
you bring. You know what I mean? And I think unfortunately a lot of mainstream has gone towards just repetitive mumble rap garbage. I mean, and I could say this because you know what I mean. Like, I can be ignorant on here and say that, but the truth is that I feel like the new generation of mumble rapping and other things, it's just not, there's not substance there. And it can be catchy for a minute, but then you know what I mean, but then every song sounds the same. Your sound is different, you know what I mean, and there's depth to what you're putting out. And I think like there's a bit of a return to that now. I think that's why so many people watch these verses, because they hunger for what used to be there. And I think
Right.
that you're bringing it back to that, but putting your own spin on it.
I'm just trying to like bring a current in first I appreciate you saying that, man, and not to cut you off or anything,
Yeah,
but
no,
like
go ahead, man.
I love that energy because it's like something's got to be acceptable, and I mean this very well. It's not that our generation is like anti-new, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're not. We're the first internet age. We're the first like, so we like new things. We like all of that. Like, no, we don't want to be seen as like the old angry, get off my lawn guys.
Back in my day.
Yeah, no, like we don't want to do that because we We were the people that were corrupting our laptops to download music.
Mhm.
We are the people who
Yep.
were doing the like. You can't
Yeah, I
tell
definitely
us
gave more than one computer aids trying to get
hundred
songs off
percent,
of LimeWire or Kazaa.
100%. That
Yeah,
important, but like for
yeah.
sure. But I'm
Well,
gonna just say 100%. It's like 95% gonna be music. The rest 100% porn. But
yeah.
it's
Well,
neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But that's expected. Come
Yeah.
on.
It was a different era.
Different era, right? So I say I'm like, it's not that we're against it. It's just that when we used to listen to music, it was like it had to make you feel something, right?
Mhm.
Like it doesn't have to be deep. Not everything. I mean, bro, we grew up with Baby Bash. Like, come on, like not everything was deep. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But it had to make you feel something. And like when I turn on the music, I'm like, do I want to fight someone today? Do I want to talk about? And it's like our generation glorified the drug dealer, right?
Yeah.
Was the hustle. It was like the thought of hustling to make a better life, all that, right?
Yeah.
This generation glorifies the user, right? Where it's like,
Mhm.
I'm on lean, I'm on perks, I'm on Molly, I'm on this, I'm on that. And I'm like, bro, that was never cool. Like that
Mhm.
was
Mhm.
never cool for us, you know? So like even growing up, I tell people this all the time. I have known many people who have sold drugs, right?
Mhm.
But I didn't know a ton of people who were abusing them. Like, I'm not counting weed. I'm just saying like people who
Right.
were
Right.
like,
No. I know what you're
you know,
saying. Well,
like that
now
just
I mean
wasn't
I got
something that.
friends. And I'm not gonna out anybody, but I got friends that they can't survive without like Xanax bars. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things where like they can't handle or deal with their life. So it's how can I escape from my reality as much as possible,
Uh-huh.
and whether that be drinking to excess or getting hooked on prescription medications or whatever the case may be. It's I don't want to deal with my reality, and then you become a slave to the drug. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. And that's like, I've got plenty of addictions, right? And none of them
Mm-hmm.
are like substance. I love me some sneakers. I love that type of thing. Vanity is my drug, and it's not like, I don't know which one's worse, but at the same time, it's like I want people to go back to the idea. And I can't tell you how many times I go to these like cypher little freestyle sessions,
Mm-hmm.
and people tell me I rap. The conversation is not if I'm good. The conversation then goes, "Oh, you can really rap," and I'm like, "So what? You say that you're a rapper but don't rap? Like that doesn't make any sense." Like the whole
Mm-hmm.
point, if you say it's like, are you a bodybuilder that doesn't lift weights? like what? This is about rapping, bro. This is about rap, and
Yeah.
it's got at some point it's got to be there because like we were raised by uncles and aunts and sisters and cousins that like they grew up in the era where like you only had money for one tape. We grew up in the era where CDs were $20, so like you had to fall in love with whoever you were listening to because you only got CDs for birthdays or Christmas or like random. You weren't just getting a CD. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like for $20, no, you're just not getting a CD. We cherish
Yeah.
things so much more because you had to sit there, read the book, the little, inside cover, learn the lyrics, and then everything like that. And then you just had to digest it because you weren't going to get another one. Here it's
But
like 5 minutes and nothing.
yeah, yeah. You know, you make a good point about the CDs and the lyrics books, right? Like my question to you is this: back in the day, like you used to hawk CDs and cassettes out of a trunk. You know what I mean? Like that's
Mm-hmm.
how you market music is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you remember that? Like people
Yeah,
would
of course,
be
bro.
selling their music out of a trunk.
Of course, bro.
Now it's a different landscape completely, right? Like we stream our television, our computers are in our pocket, you know what I mean? And everything's a mile a minute. So because we're living in this 2021 world, how do you as a young artist get your message out there? How do you grow your audience? What's that like for you right now? Like what are you trying to do um to hustle this and get it to where you want it to be?
Uh, man.
Like are you doing a lot of live shows? I know that's tough with the pandemic. Um, you know, uh is you know, I noticed you have an Instagram. Are you trying to up your social media game? Like what's all that like?
Dude, it's like as you can tell, it's an exhausting process just to even talk about it. But like,
It's a lot of work.
it's basically, so previously when you worked with a record label, you had like 10 people to do all your stuff. So it was like you had the person that did your photos, videos, and those were different people. Then you had like the marketing creative person. Then you had like your stylist. Then you had the person that did brand engagement, aka social media, all that stuff.
Right.
Now it's all
And
under
they took
one
a
roof.
chunk of you. Yeah.
Yeah, and now it's under one roof.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing they tell you is that you have to get a social media presence. So like last year, that's what I worked on for 6 months, right? So I got like, about 8,000 followers, good brand engagement. And then now they're saying I have to get more engagement on YouTube. Okay, cool. So now I got to do that. And then I have to get you TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. It's like exhausting. It's basically a full-time job in itself. So like what I'm doing now, I work with my buddy Eric. Eric is my guy. He does all my photos, does all that like brand engagement. We're actually working on a strategy of what we're going to do next to diversify and get our names out there, and like kind of like the check marks are already there. People already know that I can rap. Like it's you can't say that I can't. Now it's like what do we do with this and kind of make it better? So we're in the process now of saying like, hey man, I don't want to rap 3 more albums before somebody knows who I am. Like, if I don't get like some notoriety in the next like 1.5, then I would just like go do my job and be like, hey, this was, did my best, that's it. But right now, what we're trying to do is just, last year was about branding, this year is about expanding. So it's just a consistent approach. And first I have your ear, then I'm going to give me your heart. You know what I'm saying? If you give me your ear, then it's like, it's my opportunity to make sure I keep it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So,
well, you're doing your part on that. Now, talk to me a little bit about Rookie of the Year. I see a lot of that on social media.
Exclusive. No, so Rookie of the Year. I was like, my buddies and I were talking about it, and we were like, what do we want to do with our next project? And I said, like, it has to be something that's like big. It can't just be like another album title. It has to be like a whole theme being thought up. So I was like watching ESPN, and it was like, oh, you're announcing your Rookie of the Year. And I was like, you know what? I'm the Rookie of the Year, bro. Like, period. Like, I'm killing it. The city needs to know that I am your Rookie of the Year. Like, you're not going to tell me I'm not. And like, just ask my peers. I am the Rookie of the Year. So we're just doing like a capsule. We're doing it. It's going to be based on like heavy Miami stuff. And it's going to be think like Miami Arena, Miami Heat, Miami Arena, like that kind of old school Miami stuff. And we have like such cool visuals coming. I'm actually like 3 songs in.
Bring it back to Vice colors.
Exactly, bro. I have so much that's gonna like be like boom. And I think you say I make you feel like something, right?
Yeah,
it gives you a sense of nostalgia, but like our age group loves nostalgia, it's like, if we can get in digestible format where we can get like the 18 to like 24-year-olds being like, oh, okay, yeah, that's cool, then it's like, all right, we're really doing something. I think that's what we're on our way to. I think Rookie of the Year will be the album of the year. We're starting getting interviewed from like different local publications, and people are starting to kind of like really realize that I'm like screaming it. So it's great, man. We did a wonderful show. I've been performing with this band called Garage Sound, and we've just been kind of building upon the momentum. But 100%, what I want people to take from the next album will be progress, right? Like I want you to listen to it and be like, damn, this guy got fucking better. Like he's close, like he's close to where he needs to go.
Nice. All right. Is there anything you want to promote before we wrap this up?
Well, besides, everybody make sure you stop what you're doing. Make sure you go get out of tokens on whatever streaming service that you have. Outside of that, I've got some shows in the works, but I'll make sure I keep you updated. But all I really want to do is promote the opportunity to make some good music. I really do appreciate the opportunity for you to reach out, get me on your show, my brethren.
Absolutely.
So no, that's it, man. Just everybody go get the album. We need all the feedback, all the momentum as possible.
Debut album, Out of Tokens, available now wherever you get your music. Where can people find you on social media?
This is my rapper voice now. I get to put that one back on now.
Boom.
Check. Hey, everybody stop what you're doing. You can find me everywhere. King_Tetrus. It's not like the game. Copyright infringement is real. So it's Tetrus. Think Tetris, we trust. So King_Tetrus. And if you ask me why you call me Tetris, no matter how you put it, it's always about the bars. And that's always the
love
bars.
That. That's awesome.
No matter how you play the game, it's about the bars.
Absolutely. Now I love it. So yeah, I appreciate you being on here. Definitely gonna promote your music and get with me offline because I got a few things for you. Now that I know you're a sneakerhead, you're gonna love one of my next guests, and then I'm gonna try to connect you with a couple things real quick. But yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for coming on, and we'll have to do this again sometime.
Absolutely, bro. Appreciate you, man. I absolutely love the energy you're providing. I love that you're building this up and you're giving a platform to people building brands and energy. So I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. All right. We out.
Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. Peace.
And that'll do it for another episode of the Know It's Some podcast. My thanks again to our guest, King Tetrus. That was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that interview. Guys, if you haven't already, please head on to Apple, iTunes, give us that 5-star ranking, leave us a review, and make sure that you follow us on social media. We're on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Know It Some Pod. Like our posts, share them, tell a friend, retweet, and continue to grow this fan base. I can't thank you guys enough. I've watched this thing climb the charts. Now we're with Big 3 Roll Up, and we have some really cool guests up ahead. Some that we've recorded already, a few others on the calendar, and the sky's the limit. We're just getting started, and I'll see you next week.